These adorable, beautiful, and delicious looking things you see here are the most difficult, frustrating, and downright hard thing to smoke right. At least for me. Beef ribs are my favorite when compared to all the other things I smoke, but they are also my nemesis and the ones I haven't been able to do right yet. I cook them all to perfection. Briskets is a walk in the park. Pork, easy peasy, and I can smoke pork ribs with a lighter. But beef ribs, they have been kicking my butt forever, and I've never been able to cook beef ribs to what I call greatness. I had you guys help me to make it happen, and even Johnny came all the way from Ohio just to teach me, and even like that, I can't get them to what I really want. So that is my attempt today. I will try to cook these beef ribs to perfection and share all the secrets, tricks, and tips I have with you so maybe you can make it work. Me, knowing all the frustrations and problems I had in the past with beef ribs, I will just give it my best shot. I'm attempting greatness on beef ribs after I was able to master this WEBER Kettle diffuser I got as a present for Father's Day. This is called the Kettle Zone cooking system. And besides adding a lot of surface to the WEBER, it has become my favorite for the easy control it gives me to smoke meat. I've been cooking with it for the last 2 months non-stop, and I'm very familiar with it now. If you have a WEBER, this is the first thing I would recommend you to buy, as it makes your life easier and your smoking better. Now to the ribs. I got these beef ribs from my favorite store, Broward Blvd. As you can see, they are full of marbling. I almost look like a wagyu because of the richness and the colors of the meat. And this is the first tip I will share with you. If you think wagyu beef ribs will be better than a prime or choice beef ribs, you are wrong. Based on experience, the more marbling the meat has, the more difficult it is for the heat to break those fibers deep inside the meat. And more than once, it will give you a false reading when you poke them looking for doneness. A good choice of prime will be the perfect selection for your smoked beef ribs, and anything else with higher marbling will complicate your cooking greatly. So, tip number 1. More marbling means more time cooking and easier to mess up. And that takes us to tip number 2. Contrary to common knowledge, beef ribs should be smoked with the membrane on. I know some of you will be saying, what? And yes, the constitution of beef ribs is very different to pork ribs, and when cooking, they tend to rise and get thicker as the collagen and fat within the ribs cook. Removing the membrane from the bones will make the meat fall apart after cook, and will destroy the presentation you work hard to keep. And please, if you see me or hear me saying something wrong, put it in the comments so we can all learn. The third tip I want to share with you is about the rub. Texas-style beef ribs are typically cooked with only salt and pepper, but there are many rubs out there created to enhance the flavors of beef ribs, and most of them are salt and pepper based with a few ingredients like garlic and so on. Any rub created for brisket will do great on beef ribs, but any rub containing sugars will destroy the flavors of the meat. Most of the rubs created for pork will have sugar in it. So keep yourself away from those rubs, and in case you don't have anything else, salt and pepper will be your way out. And for that, all you need is coarse pepper and kosher salt. 40% salt, 60% pepper. But in this case, I will go with my friend Neil Serap's rub for brisket. This rub is salt and pepper based with some other secret ingredients that make beef ribs and brisket taste like heaven. Tip number 4. Rest your beef ribs with the rub on for at least 8 hours. Resting the ribs with the rub on will allow the salt to dry out the outer layers of the meat by removing water from it, and the other spices in the rub will penetrate the meat a bit deeper. Also, the exterior of the beef ribs will get drier, so it is easier for the rub to stay on it when cooking. Now it is time to let them rest until tomorrow morning, when we will cook these babies to perfection. At least that's what I hope. When you smoke meat, besides the rub you add to it, you also need to make a decision on which flavor of wood you will use. I made an entire video on smoking woods only, and you should check it out to understand the smoking process a bit better. But besides all the woods I have around, these are the ones I love the most. These are wood chunks cut out of barrels used to age bourbon, and the smell on this bag can leave you senseless. The flavors and smells of the bourbon are within this wood, and as soon as you set them on fire, you can feel a different aroma in the air. As I mentioned before, I will be using the Kettle zone cooking system for the WEBER, as it allows me to control the heat in the grill easily and keep the fire away from the meat at all times. And tip number 5. When you have your grill lit and ready, allow it to come to temperature before adding the meat. I will cook these beef ribs at 250 degrees, so I will close the grill and play with the vents until the temperature is reached and kept. Once it is all ready, we get to tip number 6. Or should I have letters? Always cook your beef ribs bone side down. It doesn't matter if the heat source is coming from the top or the bottom of the grill. Always set them bone side down. The idea is for you to be able to see how the ribs are cooking without having to touch and damage the rub setting on the ribs. Moving it around or handling it in any way will make the rub fall and your presentation ruined. Once the internal temperature of the meat gets to about 170 degrees is when we get to tip number 7. Wrapping beef ribs is optional. I know many people that don't wrap at all. But if you are going to wrap anyway, try to do it with butcher's paper instead of aluminum foil. Butcher's paper allows the juices coming out from the ribs to leak away from the wrap, and that will make the meat to cook a bit drier than using any other method. Once your beef ribs are wrapped, set them back in the grill and let them be. Tip number 8. Poking is not going to work as you expect on beef ribs. The poking guide for doneness will give you an idea of what the status of the meat is. But because of the constitution of the meat in beef ribs, it can be a very confusing thing to do. While smoking beef ribs, you will see how the meat gets away from the bones and plump in the center, making the meat look a lot bigger than when you started cooking. That is because the heat will create air pockets within the fibers of the muscle, and when you poke it with a sharp utensil, it will give you a very weird tender sensation. Allow your beef ribs to get to 207 degrees internally, and don't poke it too much as the juices inside will escape from the holes. And once all is done, we get to tip number 9, resting time. Resting beef ribs will be like when you rest brisket. 1 hour is good, 2 hours is even better, and 3 hours is the number I like. Set the ribs in a cooler and let it be there for some time. You can also add some towels or anything else you have at hand that works well to keep the heat inside, and go and relax. Hopefully, soon you will be eating the best ribs ever. At least I'm hoping for it. Okay, we have a new invited here today with us.
There we go.
Miss
We have Camila.
Hi.
And Camila's gonna give it a try because I think she's not gonna like it.
Oh no?
I don't know. She doesn't look like she's gonna like it.
Why not?
Oh, no, I'm
Let's
a very
see.
picky eater, so.
She's a picky eater.
Okay, let's see.
Alright guys, let's give it a try and give
Oh
me
my
your
God.
honest opinion.
This looks delicious. Let's give it a shot. Come on, Camila. Let's go.
Go for it.
Okay.
Let's go, guys. Oh my God.
What happened,
This is
Camila?
like butter. Meat butter.
It is.
What?
Like,
Did I? Oh! The one that didn't like it.
No,
Oh!
I think this is going to be one of the unique times that I don't have to chew.
Let me ask you.
it's true. I don't have to chew either.
Right?
Did I finally get it?
Yeah. It's very, very good.
Oh my God. It's so soft. It's so meaty. I love it. Love it, Ninja. You did a great job.
There you go. Give it a good try. There you
Okay,
go.
good.
Very, very good.
Well, guys, I'm here. I'm my worst judge ever. The lady says that it was awesome for her, so I want to really give it a try and see what's up. All right, we have a little piece here. It looks awesome. It looks perfect. The look is exactly what I'm looking for. That reddish color with those fibers opening up like that. People call this brisket in the sticks, but I don't think this is even close to brisket. This is different. The fibers are different. The fat within the fibers is different. Everything is different, and the flavor is different. So let's give it a try. Wow. Wow, I made it. Wow. I finally got it. Wow, this is good stuff. Wow. Wow, I can finally say that I made great ribs because this one is delicious, brother.
Ninja approved.
Guys, this is the way to do it. I gave you all the tips that I
Amazing.
have. You can make it yourself at home this way. It is amazing. It is ridiculous. It is so soft. It falls off. Look at this. You just put it in your mouth and it melts. This is the perfect diet for people without teeth. This is perfect, amazing, soft, crazy good, tender, juicy, and flavorful. This is all I want in freaking ribs, and I finally got it.
Woohoo!
But I will have to ask you something. Did we make you hungry?
Did we?
If we made you hungry, you have to hit us with the like.
Lots of
Subscribe
likes.
to the channel, share with your friends and family, and don't forget to share these videos on social network. Because if we can make one person make the ribs this way, we're gonna change their life
Yes, we
for
will.
sure. Let me know down there in the comments what I did wrong, what I would do different. Let me know down there in the comments if you like it. This is crazy.
Perfect. It's perfect.
This is amazing, and you know I'm a hard judge on myself. You see, if it's not perfect, I would say it's not perfect. So that's all for today, but remember that I love you.
Mwah. Love you too. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.
Camila, you love them?
I do love it.
Yeah!